to be launching a tasty pastry. It's a low-carb Pop-Tart. It's got 3 to 4 grams of net carbs, and we love this show. This is our best place to be in LA.
Welcome back to Legendary Foods Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today is Wednesday, January 26th, 2022. Let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. How about this new update from Breon Ansley? The former Arnold Classic champ seems to be really hitting his stride now, which is something that should give the rest of the athletes in the lineup pause, because Breon has beaten everyone else on the stage at one point or another. And the truth of the matter is that he finished third at the Olympia a few months ago, which means that he is absolutely still at the top of his game. So if there is some slippage from Terrence Ruffin because of his whole COVID situation, doesn't that make Breon the logical choice to bring home the title? Any of you Bryan Jones fans out there who are looking forward to seeing him compete this year, it looks like that wait just got a little bit longer. A few days ago, Bryan released some progress photos on his Instagram, where he indicated that he was planning to take the entire season off so he can make all sorts of improvements that he needs to make the move up to the open class in 2023. From a structural standpoint, Bryan's gifts have been obvious from the moment he entered the scene, and they're a big part of why he managed to place 6th at the Olympia 2 years ago. But for one reason or another, it looks like he saw the writing on the wall and decided now was the time to make the jump, because he's over 6 feet tall, and filling out enough to compete in the open class isn't going to be an easy job. But if you look at the progress that Quinton Uria made over the last few years, maybe that could be the roadmap. So if he can put on the right amount of quality muscle in the right areas, I think there's a chance that we can see him come out and be competitive in that open class at some point next season. A few days ago, in the comments section, someone asked who we thought could potentially be a dark horse to slip into the top 3 at the Arnold Classic. And after thinking about it, I think the answer might be Akim Williams. 2 years ago, Akim placed 7th, and last year he placed 5th. So if the pattern continues, that would obviously land him in the top 3 spot. But in addition to that, it's probably worth noting that the short turnaround between the Olympia and Arnold Classic might end up being a blessing in disguise, because it forced him to stay in shape. So if his conditioning is where it needs to be, it isn't all that hard to envision a scenario where Akim ends up landing a spot in the first call-out, which would go a long way towards helping him secure that top 3 finish. And finally, we're closing out the show today by sending our best wishes to one of the greatest to ever do it, Arnold Schwarzenegger, who was involved in a pretty serious car crash a few days ago. According to reports from TMZ, Arnold was not injured in the crash, but unfortunately that wasn't the case for everyone involved, although the early reports did indicate that no one was seriously injured. Even though we tend to think of Arnold as being this invincible, larger-than-life figure, the truth of the matter is that he's 74 years old. And even if he does keep himself in great shape, there's still a certain level of fragility that comes with aging. So hopefully all parties involved make a full, speedy recovery. And if you could send a few thoughts and prayers their way, I'm sure it would be greatly appreciated. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions, and make sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.